Welcome to Heritage Connections, where conversations turn into real opportunities. I'm Caroline Torres, and I'm here with today's guest, who is a leader who, through her company, has created a voice for the Latino community here in Arizona. Today, we're joined by Laura Madrid, founder of La Promise Company and owner of La Onda 1190. For over 20 years, Laura has built community through media and created countless opportunities for business owners and other community activators by uplifting the voices of the Latino. Welcome, Laura. Bienvenida a Heritage Connection.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you for this invitation. I'm excited to be here with you because it's the first time we get to connect.
Yes, and I know as a woman in media, you don't like the camera.
I don't. I am a radio person because you don't have the camera. You're behind the scenes. I don't even. But this is exciting. I'm humbled that you asked me, and thank you for this invitation.
Thank you for saying yes. But I have a question for you, a very important question. What is something that people completely underestimate about the power of media and radio?
Well, I think media in general has an important role in any community, but it's the responsibility that every media outlet has. Even in your podcast, even the podcast that you're doing today, it has value and it's important and it has power. And when we are a media outlet, especially a traditional media outlet, that power amplifies because what we say on the air or what you see on television or what you read on newspapers or print is extremely important. And you want to make sure that it's accurate information. You want to make sure that it's information that's going to elevate our communities. So I think what we underestimate is the power that it brings.
What do you think that as women in media have been some of the things that you feel like we as women have to prove? Because I know now as we navigate, even social media, but radio and television, I know it has been an industry now dominated by males. So
it is. And I've been in media for 26 years. And even before I started in traditional media, I worked for a publication that no longer exists, but I was very young and I was the only salesperson. There were 7 salesmen and myself, and I learned from them. They were great teachers. And then when I went into media, I had the opportunity to have a women general manager. But after that, it was always men. And I think there's still a lot of room for us to improve within the media industry, whether it be in Spanish or whether it be in English. We still have a lot of areas of improvement for us women to be able to hold those positions, not just behind the cameras or the microphones, but really behind the production and the editing and the ownership, especially the ownership and directing those organizations. I hope that there are more women that want to take those leadership roles because we really do need it. And I do believe that we have some extraordinary women that could do extraordinary things if given the opportunity.
So now what would you say is the hardest thing and the reason why a lot of women, even yourself, have thought about stopping and calling it quits? Because it is a challenge, not only a challenging industry, but
for me, I've never thought about just letting it go. For me, it's been okay. Well, it's a challenge. I think every industry and I think everything that you do comes with challenges, right? But it's how you overcome those challenges and how do you make it work. For me, it's been really about the community. I listen to my community. I go out to events, not just the nice, galas, but the actual events that matter to our communities, whether it be we're giving out resources, whether we're giving out toys, whether we're giving out school supplies or health information or resources. When I talk to our community and I ask them, well, what is it that worries you? What is it that your children need? What is it? How can your school do a better job? How can our politicians do a better job? For me, that's important. And that's kind of like a motivation of what we need still to do in our community, especially in Spanish speaking.
So I have a question because I know as women and as individuals, we don't have unlimited energy and unlimited time. How would you say is the hardest thing for you when it comes to, again, the aspect of time? How do you know how to say yes or no to opportunities in the community? Because I know that that's something that you're very passionate about.
It's hard. It's hard to balance two things. And I think that we women always feel guilty when we say no and we have to make decisions. But we shouldn't. We should never feel guilty about making a decision to say no. And for me, my family always comes first. No matter what, that is the one thing that I've made sure that I understand and people understand around me. That is the reason why when I accepted the job almost 21 years ago, this particular job, I was very firm. My family comes first. And for the people that I work with, their family comes first as well.
Awesome.
Work will always be work. Family is something precious, and our children will never stay little. So we need to. It's hard to balance. It is very hard to balance, and it's hard to say no. I could tell you that as I've become older, I don't think I'm becoming wiser. I think I'm just learning to set boundaries and to set what is important and what can I actually do? How can I support and help? And so saying no has been something that I've worked on and I would continue to work on.
Now, I love that you're sharing that because I know there's a lot of people listening that are starting businesses, that are starting organizations, and the hardest thing sometimes is to say no, especially at the beginning. Someone as seasoned as you are, as someone that is creating an impact in the community, it's so refreshing to hear it, like on why and navigate a little bit on how our priorities need to be put in place. But now I have a spicy question.
Okay, I like the spicy.
Yes, and I want you to be completely honest with me on this one and everybody that is listening. What is something that radio still does better than social media?
It's the connection. It's that human connection that radio has, especially local radio, the local voices. And it's still that excitement of, Mama, prende la radio. I'm going to be on I'm going to be on the radio, or that dedication. Mother's Day is coming up, and we're going to do a dedication on Sunday. So if you have somebody that you want to dedicate Mother's Day to, those are the things that excite people. And I think that social media is great. I think that it brings a lot of advantages as well. But there's something about being human and being natural and being in the moment that you don't get.
There's no editing.
There is no editing. It is live. If you screw up, you screwed up, and it's okay to screw up. But it's that human connection with the community, with the listeners. And also, now we have cameras and on the air. But there was a time when you can hear a person speak on the radio and you can imagine them like a character in a book. You can think of the character as tall and handsome, or a woman who's classy. But now that you see them on cameras, you're like, oh, okay, so this is what this is. But the voice is what carries you. And that's what I think the connection is something that no social media can give you.
But now, bringing it is still into social media, what do you think so many people are focusing on going viral and sometimes even forget about putting actual educational content or useful content instead of like building trust, instead of building like the image that they actually want to portray?
That's a great question. I ask myself too, because I do believe that we have lots of great talent here locally. And we have to be responsible. Responsibility is one of the major things whenever you are doing a podcast or or anything, even, for us in radio, when you open the microphone or you open your phone and you start talking about a subject and you think you know, but you really have no idea, you're just making it up. It could be bad, because the more people listen to you and the more likes, and people are, sometimes we forget the mission, and we lose track of what the purpose is. And so unless you're doing it responsibly, I always think that people should need to be careful what they say, because even my own mom, like, sometimes she'll tell me, oh, es que lo miré en el face. Yes, mom, but it doesn't mean it's real. And, to your question is, or to your point, is that we do need to be careful what we do and how we do it. And there has to be responsibility, because not everyone should have a platform.
You are so true.
And I say that with a lot of respect. Not everyone needs to have a platform.
I know that has been like a topic of conversation, especially because now with different platforms, not just Facebook, but TikTok, Instagram. I mean, people are taking financial advice, marital advice from content creators. And to me, that's one of the biggest issues when it comes to, how credible is that person? Are they really professional in their fields? Are they really prepared to give people advice on subjects that probably they don't know anything about?
Especially when it comes to mental health. I mean, when we're talking about mental health and you are giving your point of view, not necessarily your advice, because maybe you're not a psychiatrist or a therapist, or you're not a licensed person that can give this type of advice. It could be dangerous. And even nutrition, there's so many subjects that could be not necessarily beneficial for the viewers or the listenerships. So we do have to be careful. And again, it goes back to responsibility.
I'm so glad that you brought that up, and I hope that the listeners, the people that are in the other side of the screen, take that advice. And even when they're putting content in there, whether it's educational, whether it's entertaining, they do it, like you mentioned, in a responsible way.
Yes.
Now, what is something young communicators or journalists need to hear right now?
I think that the new generation is going to bring us with new ideas, right? Every generation brings in new ideas. But I always do believe that we need to learn from each other. And even though the new generation brings in fresher ideas, there's something about going back to what we already learned, and how we know what works and what doesn't work. Now, teach us something that your generation wants to hear and how they want to hear it. Maybe they're not as formal the way that we used to be when we give out the news, but the news is the news. And the content should be always about resources. I think that I would tell the new journalist, I mean, I'm not a journalist myself, just want to make sure that we understand that. But I have worked with journalists for a very long time, and I know talent when I see talent. I would tell them to really listen to their communities and understand what those needs are, because sometimes the needs of a bigger market like Maricopa County might be different from Yuma County, or from Yuma County, or from Mojave County. And the way you deliver the information will be different as well. So those are some of the key issues or key things that I would recommend that they look into. It's not the same for all.
Well, one of the things that we really focus on is building intentional connections and community. So now I have a question for you. How can people support local Latino media better?
By helping them grow those communities. We have lots of independent journalists, not just here in Maricopa County, Phoenix, Glendale, West, but we also have them in Southern Arizona. There's a group of ladies in Southern Arizona doing a fantastic job, and those need to be recognized as well, because all of Arizona matters. We think of just our small circle, but it really matters as we amplify it. And we can support each other by those connections. If there's something that another outlet can do or is doing that you're not able to do, it's okay to build those connections. We need to work together, because not one outlet is going to be able to do everything. And for me, it's building those connections, it's building those partnerships. I have partnerships with other radio stations in Southern Arizona, and we do the same things, but we do them in different communities. And there's things that I'm able to do, and there's things that they're able to do, and so we work together. And I have no problem with sharing spotlights, because that's what we need to do to grow.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. When we talk about community, when we talk about impact, I always think of you. Oh. And everybody that asked me questions specifically to the radio component of the media and letting things out there, you always come top of mind, because I know that you're very passionate about building relationships, and you just share it like right now. Even though I know right now we live in a society that people feel like they're competing with each other, we're not.
We're not, because we're also very different, and we bring different points of views, and we bring something different. And I always think that if you find somebody that has an ability, highlight that ability. I have no fear in meeting someone and telling them, hey, do you know that you can do this? And when they succeed at it, that makes me happy, because I'm like, yo sabía, I knew it. I have people on my phone that I have met, and I put future so-and-so, future this, future, because I see their talent. I see what they don't see yet in themselves. Wow. And so when they get to those spaces, that excites me, because I know that they're going the right way. And it's hard, because sometimes you think, well, maybe you shouldn't say anything, but then it's like, no, but this person has so much potential. And you also learn, Caroline, that you need to respect people's times, and maybe they're not ready, and that is okay, and you need to be respectful of that. But I always know talent. And I'm really good at seeing people's talents and highlighting people's talents, because I think we need to do that as a community, especially Latinas. And I think that we don't do that enough. We think that we are competition. We think that, oh, they're going to take away my light. No one's going to take away your light.
And that's why I love you. Let me just tell you that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love everything that you stand for, everything that you do. I know that you're very involved in the community, and I know that you're doing a lot, not only for, again, the community overall, but the media community as well. So now let's switch up gears a little bit. This is going to get candela. I'm going to ask you some questions, but I don't want you to overthink him. I just want you to go. Because it's like quick.
Okay.
Radio or podcast?
Radio.
Okay. One interview you'll never forget.
When I interviewed Tim Waltz.
Oh, nice. Biggest red flag in media?
Biggest red flag?
Yes.
When it's not a continuation, when it's a one-time thing.
Okay. A young Latina who wants to work in communication should
do it. Nice. Don't be fear. Do it.
One word that describes your legacy.
Community and familia.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is exactly why Heritage Connection is here. It's all about highlighting those that are leading, that are creating an impact in the community and opening doors for other people. So thank you so much, Laura, for coming in, sharing a little bit about you, about what you're passionate about, and also why radio matters and why our community not only needs to continue to listen to the radio, but get involved, participate, engage, share, like, all the content that you guys are creating. And I know, as you mentioned, social media is powerful, but let's make it powerful where it matters.
Yes. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you for this invitation. This is This is always fun, but not my thing. Radio is important. Social media is important. Every outlet that we have, everything is changing. But what is not going to change is the soul of a human being. And when you have soul behind anything that you do, that's what matters. So always do it with responsible content, and do it responsibly, just like alcohol.
Well, everyone, you just heard it from our leader, Laura Madrid. Don't forget to tune in and listen to the radio station, and also to share and like this content, because we want to grow with you. So until the next capítulo here at Heritage Connections.